The court adjourned and said, we'll meet again tomorrow. Call your parents from both the sides, that is the little girl's grandparents from both the sides. And they came in the court, and the court asked them, who will take care of this 7-year-old girl? And they also resented. Finally, the girl's maternal grandmother, Nani, she said, I will take care of the girl. And when she said yes, the father and the mother of the little girl, they said, thank you. That was a fine, artistic, fashionable American thank you. Thank you. They had manners outside, no manners inside. They signed the papers, went off, got into the parking lot, picked up their respective cars, both with BMWs. But that BMW didn't help them to remain together in the family. And the posh bungalow in a posh area in Ahmedabad is lying as it is, because nobody out of the two is allowing the other to stay there. The reason was very simple. The wife started earning more than the husband. And when she gets more applause, definitely, even the greatest musicians have problems. Even international stars and Padma Shri Award winners have problems. Dr. Bush, you are safe?
Yes.
In that way, you are safe. I can joke with him as a friend.
I'm sitting with him, so I'm safe.
Joke just as a friend. But this happens. This happens in the society. So ego issues in the family that can disturb and separate the family. In 1996, when we are conducting a family seminar in New York, we are sitting with the parents during group discussions. Then we sat with the children. And one of the attendees, Subhash Patel, he told us an incident. That saw me just about a couple of months back, one fine Saturday night, when me, my wife, my children, we are all sitting together for dinner. I just asked my 11-year-old son, see, me, your father, you, your sister, we are all sitting together on the dining table. See, we are enjoying life. Few years from now, you will go into university. Then after a few years, you will graduate out. You will have your good job, and then you will go into business. Then you will get married, you will have children. Then you will have to have a bigger house and a bigger dining table, because then we will be more than 5, 6, 7 members. At that time also, we'll all be sitting together, enjoying dinner this way, isn't it? And the 11-year-old son, he said, well, Mom, your idea is fine. But typically in the American fashion, where the kids, they raise their shoulders and touch the tips of the ears. Well, Mom, your idea is fine. But that I will have to ask my wife. I will have to take her opinion whether to allow both of you to stay with us or not. The 11-year-old boy. And Subhash Bhai said, the spoon from my wife's hand just dropped on the plate. This is attitude issues that disturbs a family. A different kind of a thinking process. Today, more and more families are going nuclear. The joint family system is evaporating from the society. The joint family culture is nothing today. Its acceptance is out of relevance today. Everybody wants to be independent. They are old. They are of the bygone days. They don't understand us. So we are living in a nuclear family, husband, wife, and children. In America, the definition of family is only this much. If your parents stay with you, you have to tell that, yeah, my parents stay with me, they are in my family. The father, the mother, and the children. The nuclear family means, you know atom, we have all studied physics. In atom, there is a proton, positive charge, electron, negative charge, and neutron, no charge. So in a nuclear family, the father is a proton, he has his own orbit, the positive charge, business life. The mother has her own, is an electron, has her own negative charge, socializing. And the little boy sitting in the middle with no charge, neutron, seeing the proton and the electron going around, nobody coming near to meet. Because in an atom, the proton and the electron doesn't come near to the neutron. So the neutron sits in the middle, waiting for mom and dad to come at the right time in. This is happening. I have paid fees for school. I have paid fees for his tennis coaching classes. I have paid fees for, he goes for swimming 3 times a week. He goes to dance classes about twice a week. So into bracket, thank God I have to spend less time with him. I need to give less time to him. All the fees are paid. Subconscious mind. So, issues about not giving time, love and care. In 1999, if you remember, there was a tragedy in Columbine School in United States that 13-year-old kids, Darren Klebold and Eric Harris, they took a semi-automatic gun at school and they were on a shooting spree. They killed about 13 students, shot dead the teacher, and then they were so much afraid because they were just 13-year-old kids. They shot themselves and they died. It was for the first time in the United States at that time. Everybody was shocked. Media reporting it to the fullest. The government under tremendous pressure. At that time, the government of the United States, they designated a committee to find the reasons and the remedies to this. And they found out that what was lacking and what was needed. They first pointed out was nurturing of positive environment at home. Second thing they pointed out, strong support system at home. And third, they pointed out correct intervention at the right time when something positive or negative happens in the family. But thereafter, almost every second month, such incidents have happened. Days are not far off when such incidents won't start happening here in India. It will. So these are the present day affairs in the family, its results in the society. We are facing it. In Mumbai, in Juhu, a 15-year-old boy kidnapped his 13-year-old girlfriend and then demanded ransom from her father. A 3-year-old boy, his mother was bathing him, scrubbing his back, and suddenly Abhiram, I read this in Reader's Digest many years back, he said, this part of Abhiram's bath is sponsored by Mamba. A teenager in the United States, he made up a bomb, an explosive device from informations from the net. He was doubtful whether it will go off or not. But then still he put it under the bed in the master bedroom. For a small fear, he went out. And it triggered by the remote control sitting in the garden. And the whole house was into small pieces. The government was alerted. This happened just about 4 or 5 years back. To remove all the material, into brackets scrap, of how can explosive be devised from information from the net. Social media issues. Social media exposure issues. So in the family, we have ego issues. In the family, we have attitude issues. In the family, we have love, care, and time-giving issues. In the family, we have social media exposure issues. So this happens in the family, and more families are breaking up today. Am I right or wrong? One of the devotees and the followers of this organization, Judge B.D. Soni in Ahmedabad, he's a district court judge for family courts. He himself has presided over more than 10,000 family issues in his personal court as a judge. What the amount may pile up to if we add all the numbers from throughout the country and throughout the world. From this, with this background, knowing these realities, accepting these realities, we must first come to a concrete thought that home is the fundamental element of the society. It is the ground for learning all the values and virtues, largely depending upon the elders and the decision makers in the family. Home is the foundation for national elevation or national decadence. Family is a divine unit. All of you coming together as husband, wife and children is not an accident. It's a design. First accept that basic thought that it is a design, it is a divine unit. You as family members, you have come together because of many past relationships, because of our all past marriages, that is karma, and is designed by the divine. You need to keep that divinity. You need to keep that smoothness in relationships with the family. And remember, the greatest joy upon this earth is the joy of relationships. Recently, an NGO in the United States, they had a survey all over the world in more than 100 countries. Survey conducted on more than 1 lakh families. That what according to you is the principal and the highest joy upon this earth? 87% of the respondents, they said that the joy of relationships with the near and the dear ones. So that is the greatest joy, above the joy of money, above the joy of fame, above the joy of achievements, above the joy of successful business running, and above the joy of job satisfaction is the biggest joy, the joy of relationships. What Anil or Mukesh Ambani might be enjoying with their friends, the best of times, even a beggar in Dharavi is enjoying with his best friend. The natural sources of joy and happiness, God has distributed it equally to everybody. Among them is first the joy of relationships with near and dear ones, that is family members. That is the most important aspect that we need to learn. Many years back, the then First Lady of the United States, Barbara Bush, the wife of George Bush Sr., she said at a convocation day that the future of America does not depend upon what happens in the White House, but it depends upon what happens in every American house. In the same way, the future of our country, India, does not depend upon what happens at the parliament, at Prithviraj Road or Janpath. It all depends upon what happens in every Indian house, because again, house is the fundamental element of the society. Each and every house holds this status. So, we need to take care of our families more. If you are largely successful as a businessman, but if you fail as a father, a husband, a brother, a son, a neighbor and a friend, you are a failure. If you are running a 5,000 crore, that is 1 billion or 1.5 billion dollar MNC, but if you fail to take care of your family members, give not enough but ample time to your family members, First I used to talk that enough time for your family members. Now I have improved upon that. Not just enough time, ample amount of time to your family members. If you have not given that, you may be successful as a CEO or an MD or an executive chairman, but you are a failure as an elder of the family and failure as a human being. Your topmost priority should be your family. So we often, during our seminars, we teach the 8+8+8 system. 24 hours of the day are distributed into 3 fragments of 8 hours each. First 8 hours is honest, ethical hard work. Second 8 hours is sleep and rest, because deprivation of sleep, you know, and many of the medicals sitting here. And third 8 hours we teach 3H and 3F. 3F is family, friends and faith. 3H is health, hygiene and hobby. If you can finally distribute your life into 8+8+8 system, you can definitely be a successful human being, not just a successful doctor, not just a successful industrialist, not just a successful businessman, but a successful human being. If at the end of the day you can put your hand on your chest and say that I have lived today completely, family, personal life, social life, family life, all done fine in terms of time, work and achievement, then you have lived your day and thus your life. Otherwise, it's a donkey life, dog life and a cat life. Even they run for food from morning and you run for tenders and businesses from morning. What's the difference? They wait for their victims and you wait for your customers. I cannot say victim again. Amul would correct me, he's my friend sitting there. So you wait for your customers. It's the same thing, same attitudes. But if you have this part of the story in your life, you are a human being. So we need to give a thought process to it. Redefine our thought processes for life. And this is 8+8+8 system. We do a detailed seminar on it. I'm just giving you a gist of it, the title of it. So, when it comes to my family, happy family, it comes down and melts down to one word, and that word is responsibility. And I know everybody would like to again raise your hands and tell me, Swami, when you are talking of responsibility, we have been shouldering the responsibility of all our family members since 10 years, since 20 years, since 30 years, since 40 years, somebody else since 50 years. I don't say no to it. Without you sharing and caring, your family wouldn't have reached the stage that they are today. I understand. But let us go into the finer points of it. Responsibility is the word when it comes to happy family. And the first responsibility is selfless time, selfless love, and selfless care. We are giving time, love and care, but according to our situations, timings, knowings, and intentions. But selfless love, selfless care, and selfless time is the need of the hour to save the earth. A few years back, an organization somewhere in the United States, they had an experiment for juvenile delinquency, and then about 10 volunteers of that organization, they decided to sit on phone lines at about 9 p.m. one fine Saturday evening and just call up people from telephone directory and just ask them that do you have kids in the age group of 8 to 20 or 8 to 22? That we are calling from this NGO, and it's a survey. And people happily respond to surveys because that could be beneficial to the society. Names, of course, not disclosed. And if they would say no, then they would just hang up the phone. And if they say yes, then the second question follows. That is 9 p.m. And what are they doing? Whether they are in the house with you, in the family, or whether they are out. Then the third question is followed, that if they are with you, what are they doing? Have you all had dinner together? Are they studying, watching TV, gone to bed? What? If they are out, where have they gone? When did they go? When are they going to come back? With whom? Friends. They have gone out, do you know? And when are they going to come back? These were simple questions. They wanted a survey from the society. So they had decided that they would pick up 200, 250 calls, and they would get about 100 families where they have children in this age group. So after about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, they had their survey completed over a span of 2 or 3 days, because they wanted to maintain their timing of 9:30. The survey was conducted on weekends or during weekdays, and the conclusion report prepared. And the results were alarming. Out of the 100 homes that they got where they had teenagers or youngsters in the family, in more than 80% of the homes, the phones were picked up by children who didn't knew where their parents were. In more than 80% of the homes, the phones were picked up by children, and they didn't knew where their parents were. And the survey was supposed to be asking the parents where their children are. And the end result came out, the children not knowing where their parents were. This is not responsibility. Responsibility of time, care, and love. Just a small story apart. One fine evening, a gentleman just walked into his house, a young couple, they had a small baby, and he found that his wife was teaching the first word to the little baby, Daddy. And he was very elated, very happy. I got a wonderful wife upon this earth, that she is teaching the first word, Daddy, to my little baby. Normally the baby learns the first word is Mama, Mummy, Mom, whatever the tradition in the family, and learns it. And the first word the baby learned was Daddy. And the gentleman was very happy. One fine midnight, the baby started crying and it knew only one word. So the baby crying and started, Daddy, Dad, Dad, Daddy, Dad. And the husband, after a few minutes, he shook his wife and said, take care of the baby. He's crying. And the wife, she just rolled over and said, Hubby, just listen carefully. Whom is he calling? Just listen carefully, whom is he calling? He must go for help. And now the gentleman realized why his wife was teaching the first word, Daddy. It's just an off story. It's not a real example. Of course, it can't be. And even if it is, no, it doesn't come out in light. But to tell us that we often run away from responsibilities of care, time, and love because we want to be busy, rather over busy with our careers, with our ambitions, and with our socializing. And everybody who are socializing largely, take this word from me today. A time will come in your life when, with more than 1,000 names in your mobile numbers, you will be finding it difficult whom to call. A time comes in everybody's life where your money will not help you, where your resources of all kinds would not help you. You will scroll it 2 times whom to call at this moment of the day when you are in a desperate situation. Recently, the Facebook, they came out with a report that on an average, a person on FB has about 120 to 160 contacts, communications. And they came out with the report that out of those very active on a daily basis, personal are only 2 to 5. 150,000 FB users, they left it this year in Britain. People have come to know the menace of it. Somebody asked me, Swami, are you on Facebook? I said, no, I like to face the book. That's better. That's better because your thought processes, the right decision making at the right time in life, when situation arises, comes from a concrete thought process which is eventually built up by good reading. This was a small thing apart, but because of certain more type of socializing, you are on WhatsApp and you want to show something that you did to 150 people. Why? Somebody asked me, are you on WhatsApp? I go, I don't want to see somebody, he's going on the Miami beach and in his Bermuda and he's bathing there and he shoots his selfie and shoots it to me. I don't want to see. I don't want to get involved so much into anybody's life. It's nothing but time wasting. So no, if you say to over socializing, then you can definitely find more time for your children, for your family members. It's nice to be at business up to 5 or 6 or 7. By 7:30 or 8, if you manage your time properly, you can be back at home. Recently on YouTube, there is a 30-second speech made by Brian Dyson, the ex-CEO of Coca-Cola, world CEO. In 30 seconds, he has spoken superbly at a convocation there. I suggest everybody to download and hear it. And he said that my principle always was, get to office on time, work effectively during working hours, and get back to my family on time. He said that you are juggling with 5 balls in your life. You know a ball juggler in the circus. He juggles with more than 2, 3, 5 balls. He said that the first ball is your work. Second ball is your family. Third work is your social relationships. Fourth ball is your health. And the fifth ball is your spirit. And he said, while juggling in life with these 5 balls, 24 hours is spent in this. After many years, you will come to know that 4 balls are made up of rubber and 1 of glass. The ball of rubber is made up of, the ball of work is made up of rubber. Even if you lose it, it will bounce back. As Richard Branson, the CEO and chairman of Virgin Atlantic, he said once that work is like a bus station, where a bus comes every 3 minutes. Opportunity comes every 3 minutes in this highly demanding world. There is no end to work. If you decide that I want to work 24/7, you have that work. But just put a hand on your chest and ask yourself, if all the work of your field comes on your desk at 9 a.m. in the morning, will you be able to execute it? Yes or no? If all the work, by profession you are a doctor. Which faculty? Ophthalmologist. You are an eye specialist. If all the cases of ophthalmology come to your table at 9 a.m. in the morning, you would go mad. We are striving for more and more business, but we definitely need to put a bar. Brian Dyson said you need to put a bar of satisfaction. What we lack after all the best education from the best of the universities in the world is deciding the bar of satisfaction, where you reach and then humbly stay and enjoy the short period upon this earth. Your period upon this earth is 70 or 80 years, whatever you do. It's a 70 or 80 year game. Yes or no? And if I break it down into one small fragment, you will be alarmed. 8 hours of the day you sleep? Yes, on an average. If you say now sleep only 6.5 hours, but when you were a child you used to sleep 10 hours, and old age you are going to sleep for 10 hours. So average will come down to 8 hours. That means 1/3 of the day you are sleeping. That means it is directly proportional. 1/3 of the life you will sleep. Simple equation. That means if you stay or live upon this earth for 70 years, 23 years of your life you will be in bed sleeping, not even knowing whether you exist or not. And what do you say? Oh, I want to do this. This is my achievement. 23 years you don't know whether you exist or not. So life is very short. You need to plan out properly. First, time-wise and zone-wise. For better enjoyment in life. So selfless time, selfless care and selfless love for your near and dear ones. Param Pujya Pramukh Swami Maharaj is the spiritual and the administrative head of this organization. He is 93 today. In the amount of work that he has done in his lifetime, he is the only living legend in this population of 7 billion upon this earth that he has his name for 6 times in the Guinness Book of World Records. He could appear for another 5, 7, 10 times. He was never interested in that. Even we are not interested now. Because the greatness of a saint is not through the Guinness Book of World Records. It's through Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. When he built 354 religious places, he was described in 2000 by the Guinness Book of World Records as the master builder of the 20th century. Today, he has crossed the figure of 1200. You see the campus in Atladra, BAPS Swaminarayan Temple. You see the hospital there. Besides that, we have a 150 students residential hostel. Behind that, we have a 5,000 sitting capacity shed. Now it's going to get converted into 10,000 sitting auditorium, pillarless, the biggest of its kind in central Gujarat. The work will start after Diwali. Behind that, we have a 1,200 students residential school where 600 students they stay. Such small or big, more than 1,100 campuses all over the world, more than 100 hospitals, schools, hostels and colleges. He has initiated more than 950 saints like us. And as I told you, more than 20 million people, he has met them personally. He was fully active till the age of 91, answering more than 70 letters a day. He came, that is, he became guru of this organization at the age of 51. From 51 to 91, 40 years of that age time, he answered 70 letters a day. He attended 3 meetings a day for the expansion and the growth of this organization. Still, he has found time for each and every member of this organization. Not once, not twice, 10 times. My friend Amul is sitting here. Amul, please stand up at your place. Amul Zikar. He is an ardent follower of this organization. Please, please. Pramukh Swami might have visited at his place more than, Pramukh Swami Maharaj might have visited your house personally more than 20 to 25 times minimum. More than that. Personal time for each and everybody. Once Pramukh Swami Maharaj was sitting and personally meeting people in a queue where they come for personal darshan. A small boy, Nilkant, his age was 6, and he came up to Swami and said, Swami, yesterday when you were dining, I was sitting in front of you. Because it's a custom when Pramukh Swami is having his meals, we saints and devotees or the volunteers, we sit, we talk with them, local reporting of the activities and everything happens. He communicates with us. He said, I saw that at the end of your meal, you removed your teeth. When I went back home, I tried it many times, but I could not remove my teeth. How could you? And Swami said, don't try it again. Swami, then when I will be able to remove my teeth like you? Swami said, when you will be of my age, you will be able to remove. He was talking with a small boy, giving him ample amount of time. Just behind him was Hiralal Soda, the leading solicitor of Mumbai, and a long queue of such kind people waiting to meet Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Pramukh Swami Maharaj was very comfortable with this little boy. And the second inquisitiveness he proposed, Swami, if you don't mind, I want to see from very near how you remove your teeth. And without the slightest hesitation, spontaneously, Pramukh Swami Maharaj removed his dentures and showed it. And the little boy said, "Can I touch it?" And Swami said yes. And the little boy touched the teeth. Because for him it was something out of the world. The teeth from out of the mouth and touching it. He said, "Swami, now open your mouth. I want to see it without your teeth." Pramukh Swami's age at that time was 74. Pramukh Swami loudly opened his mouth, wide open. And little boy from underneath he gazed, oh, no teeth inside. And then he gazed at the teeth, then again at the mouth. Pramukh Swami Maharaj was patient enough to give him full satisfaction to his inquisitiveness. And then he said, "Swami, you wear it again, I want to see how you wear it." And the attendant saints, they washed the teeth again, washed the hands, and then Swami Shri wore it. And he was happy and said, "Swami, I wanted to see it from near. Thank you." And Swami again blessed him and said, "But don't try it." Thousands of such incidents have happened in the life of Pramukh Swami Maharaj, where he has personally attended children, teenagers, youngsters, middle-aged people, old-aged people, personally guided them, found a lot of time. There have been incidents where people, they have been in personal meetings one-to-one for their personal or family issues. For half an hour, 1 hour and 2 hours with Pramukh Swami Maharaj alone. Naren bhai, am I right or wrong? Personal meetings with Pramukh Swami Maharaj, many times. This is finding personal time. So I give you a fine clue. Now think on that and listen these words properly. The moment that you find that for this particular relationship or this particular contact, in a local language I am talking, on your mobile or WhatsApp, you are not able to find personal time, stop there from developing new contacts. You don't need it. The amount of personal time that you are able to give to your near and dear ones or to an extended circle gradually, that is where you should stop and enjoy your relationships and time and your life. It's no use keeping 150 and 250 and 500 people on your WhatsApp. When out of 500, more than 300, you are not going to meet them even once a year, or not going to communicate even by a telephone once in 2 years, and that's happening. Am I right or wrong? Then why are you keeping them on your WhatsApp? For what? And many a times people are also bored of your messages as well. Do you think that? As you are of somebody's messages. So if you stop that, you will find more time for your family, more time for selfless care and love. I talk to you of Warren Buffett, the richest investor upon this earth. Investment of more than $80 billion. And he has a hand of gold. Wherever he puts it, it becomes gold. He's so lucky. At that age time, he's very intelligent as well. Recently, the couple, they completed 50 years of their married life. And his flagship company, Berkshire Hathaway, which has 63 companies underneath, all the 63 CEOs, they jointly organized 50 wedding parties, that is wedding anniversary parties, in 50 different cities all over the world for Warren Buffett and his wife, attended by who's who of those countries. The final concluding party was in London. It was attended by more than 10 heads of states of Europe. So you can understand the dignity of that occasion. Warren Buffett and his wife are sitting on the dais, proceedings going on. And one gentleman sitting in the audience, he raised his hand and said, "If you don't mind, can I ask a question?" And the Buffett couple said, "Yes, please." And he asked, "What is the secret of your 50 years of happy married life?" A difficult, if not a dangerous question. What is the secret of your 50 years of happy married life? I remember a story reading in the Reader's Digest when a couple was sitting at the dais on their 50th anniversary and somebody asked them a question, "What is the secret of your 50 years of happy married life?" And the husband said, "See, the most important decisions in the family I take, and she has to simply say yes and follow me. And the lesser important decisions she takes. And I said, okay, go on with it. This is how we enjoy 50 years. Stayed together for 50 years. And the people in the audience